Why is it? Okay, all right, there we go. Okay, so last week we got the app to run. That was fun, but the IDE was being very difficult, and it turns out some of it was my fault, but some of it was, I don't know, all the stuff. So I thought, let me just quickly close everything and let's go over the changes I made after I figured it out after a bit. So with regards to the app that is running the pure website, I have to open this quickly. The diff. Can we do it inline? Inline mode. There we go. So can we do show? Don't ignore. Don't trim the white space. Okay, let's keep that on. So it was quite simple. This one fix was basically going into an infinite loop. So this would start. It's going to render let's call it the page, and then it creates all the stuff. Then it will load the storage, and then it would sort of continue here and render the content. Then the counter storage would load, and then it would set the counter, will count, which would then trigger a refresh or a re-render, and then the re-render would load it again, and then it would re-render and re-render and re-render. And I only needed to do it the first time because we load from storage, and then from then on it's in the page, and that. So this was the one fix in the website, and I think, yeah, obviously it's choking there. The other thing that was having issues was our we couldn't build, things were not happening in the Visual Studio. Turns out that by default should run the build script is false, which means build doesn't work, and yeah, so that was an interesting find, but I eventually debugged some stuff. I also had yeah, so that was in the VS, and let's look at the other VS. So before we go to the web app, well, let's stay in the web app actually, that'll be better. Then once I fixed all that, I was like, okay, what I want to do is I want to get rid of those horrible warnings that every time you build, like, oh, I can't find this JavaScript file. Then of course you launch your app, and then you get the 2 errors in the console. So I found a plugin called Vite plugin HTML, and what that allows me to do in my Vite config to basically, it's a bit complicated here, but I import it, and then I can use this plugin over here to sort of inject data from my environment file. So I've created 2 environment files. This one is sort of a default one, and then this is a hybrid one. And then depending on how I build, where is it here? Depending on the, well, I load the environment variable over here using load in from Vite, and then I basically inject those environment variables into here, and this then the plugin would inject into my HTML. So my current HTML is basically got placeholders instead of the actual ones, and so that was fun, really. I also, oh my gosh, there we go, Visual Studio. I also set up so that I can use hybrid. So since Vite has a sort of this -- mode, which allows you to basically say, hey, I would like to build as production or local or whatever. In this case, I set up a new mode called hybrid, and this hybrid is then used to load the env. So basically, if I go over here, back to the icon, I load the environment using the mode, which is part of the defined config. So it's a sort of a parameter, let's call it that, and I can load it. So obviously if I'm building a normal one, then I get env. If I'm building a hybrid one, then I get the hybrid. So that allows me to basically put the scripts there. And I think that's about it. So that fixed us. So I fixed the infinite rendering loop with the check, and I fixed the build from VS by make sure I set to true, and obviously now I build the hybrid one in VS. I don't need to build the other one. I added templating in my config so I can load the environment and use the current environment in this new create HTML plugin. And yeah, so is that. Now for the MAUI app, the first off, everything was broken. All I had to do was restart VS. And then I also figured out after restarting VS, once I started getting real errors and warnings and stuff, that this tsconfig is going to be used, but it's only used when you run a build of the MAUI app. So like the design time, what they call design time is like if you type in and hit save, that is a design time build. It's not actually triggering a full build. And the design time build doesn't use the tsconfig for whatever reason. I don't know if it's a bug or a feature or some horrors. So I just decided to give up on the tsconfig, and I just use the MS build property. So I had this, if you go to tsconfig, I had the target over here, I had changed to 2015. Nothing seemed to happen. I still get all the errors saying, you know, promise is not defined, you need to use ES 2015. I'm just now using MS build. So they've got MS build property defined for all the possible combinations of things in the tsconfig. So now that's good. I also had an incorrect Copilot. Ooh. Copilot gave me the wrong thing, so thank you very much, Copilot. Should have checked, but I didn't. And then my MAUI app, obviously I used the correct one. It's not still working yet, so I've updated this, but I know that I haven't created any managed side stuff. So this is what should, I think, be the correct one. And in the CS proj as well, I figured out another issue was I have to remove the button obj because by default the TypeScript compiler includes any TypeScript, and that any TypeScript will include the bin folder. So I have to now remove the bin folder. Also for the MAUI asset, I am now just including the JS, so no need to include the TypeScript. So in the www root, yeah, so which would just be the MAUI app. And then of course, yeah, so no longer using the TypeScript config, and I have to remove it. So these two things were just to make the IDE happy. Of course, I would only figure that out halfway through once I'd sort of shut down VS in anger and reload. And really here we're getting an error from the TypeScript again, so it's back. The yellow bar is back. Anyway, so let's make my face a bit smaller now that we've seen the changes I've done off screen. So if I am to just quickly let's go to the starter project. Let's just quickly run this, and basically our app it's been me a long night. This is quite simple. We've got a single render sort of a chunk of content, and we load the storage, and of course when the count changes we save the storage. No, open DevTools, and of course there we go, 9 from the previous run. So let's quickly close. Actually, let's make it big so we can still work. Right, so it's pretty cool. Let's zoom that in, and of course our counting go, and that's nice. So there, that's cool. And of course at the top here, using implementation, local browser storage. So if I stop this, I then just give that a quick build. Look at that, it's going to probably work now. And we're going to, see, I can't even do it because it's building. I have to wait for this to finish. And of course there is building with the hybrid. If we scroll over here, so that build hybrid is now triggering the new build mode, which is building for hybrid over there. Ignore the horrors. And then of course here is our warning saying we can't find the scripts, but that's okay because it's a special. So let's switch that now to the startup project, and let's go back to our main page. So what we had in our main page is pretty simple. We have our hybrid host, we have a root and an HTML page. We had a raw message which we're not going to use anymore, but we'll keep it for now. And we got here nothing much, right? Because we're not going to do anything. Then in our www root, we've included all the assets from the dist folder, and plus our special 2 files. So we have the HybridWebView that we got from sort of the MAUI docs, and we got our custom TypeScript over here, a new storage that now implements the new implementation, which is async. This is now async function to get, and this one we just await the .NET, and of course when we set it we await the .NET again. So pretty cool. I'm pretty sure we could probably return this like this directly without having to do async. Is that a feature? But yeah, let's just keep that there so that we can have full control of the system. So when we save that, we got output generated successfully. Very cool. We can hop on over here and we get all of this. So that's very exciting. Here is our stuff. We also setting this get counter storage implementation sort of special hook that of course we have to remember when we go to counter storage. We'll first check this if it exists, and probably can do a type of implementation is equal to what function, I think, right? There we go. So let's quickly build this again one last time for luck. So if it's a function, we can execute it, otherwise we fall back to the local counter storage. And of course we make sure we log it. So if we run our MAUI app now and we check the console, it should say .NET MAUI counter storage. Should say. It's loading. Now that's the reason it's failing is because we have there is a MAUI counter storage, and of course it's failing because we haven't written any other jobs. We're trying to communicate with .NET, but we haven't set up the .NET side. So finally, let's go to .NET code. Okay. So I think I did that okay. Now, how do we talk to .NET? There is two ways. There is the on message received. In fact, let's just demonstrate that again, just to pop that here. Oops, wrong one. And here we go. And of course, we can say when it's executing, we can do this. Let's do this. Dot in send raw message. Is this also async? We check that quickly just to make sure that it is async or not. Send raw message. Is that async? Send message internal. Oh, I don't think this is async. Send message. Okay. Android post message. Okay. Yeah, okay. So that is not async. Let's just update that because, okay, look at that, that's void. So that's correct. Just verifying that. And let's move this over here and say window, what is this? Send raw message, and what we're going to send here is saying about to construct the MAUI counter storage. MAUI counter storage instance. There we go. Just to make sure something works, we go back to our XAML page, and we're going to go over here. We're just going to do let's just do Windows debug agnostics dot. Alright, so if we run this app and in the output, in our output log here, let's run that again, now that I fixed the typo. We should now have the first basic communication back from what we had before. So, just gotta wait. Come on, build, let's do it. It's packing all those assets most probably. Although it's unpacked, it's just more copying it now. So we just gotta wait a second, wait 2 seconds, wait 5 seconds, wait a billion seconds. What is it doing? It ran so quick before. Oh, there we go. The impatience is real. And then of course, there we go. Raw message received about to construct the MAUI counter storage instance. Look at that. Communication has returned. Alright, now it's failing. So what we need to do is do the final step is when we create this, we go hybrid host dot target object, and oh my gosh, IntelliSense, hang on for me to type it, bro. Now what does this take? It takes a T target. Okay, so what we need to do is just going to create a class, and we're going to do hybrid target, and we're just going to do new hybrid target. There we go. And over here, if we look at what we've said should exist, the get count and set count. Now this one is taking a number, but let's just do this one, this returning a number, right? So if we go to our code, we're going to do public int get count, and of course public void set count int number count. Let's do that. Right. Return 0 and set count. There we go. Let's just do this. We can always show int count. Okay, get count is just underscore count, and of course underscore count is equal to count. There we go. So just a quick in-memory storage or hybrid target. We're gonna fix this in a second. So when the method when these calls come in here, basically all HybridWebView invoke.nets will come to this particular target, this instance, this target, as long as it's alive. So even though this is going to be dual purposed, what we actually want to do is, let's do that as well, just to really drive home. Let's just use MAUI counter storage. All right, is that what we called it? Mounted counter storage. MAUI counter storage. Okay, there we go. And of course, count. The reason we do this is that if we have another thing, let's say we got on this page, we're going to have a get current date. It will also come to this MAUI target. So this target will basically have, let's do this. There we go. So we can see that this is just a placeholder. In fact, let's do it even better. Let's do this right. We'll do here and we'll do, there we go. Let's see this mounted counter storage underscore. There we go. This is horrible, but just to demonstrate the true gorgeousness, if you will, like that. So this counter storage object is the real object, and this is just a target that's going to get there, and we just a new storage there. We'll probably have to move that to singletons and stuff, but that's not really what we're trying to do. So this should now work, I believe. We just gotta wait a second, and then I think it'll show off the bug in the next thing we're gonna do, and then we're gonna go skip playing around here for a bit and go straight to MAUI so that we can have some actual fun. There we go, count is 0. Counter storage, and if I check the app, I don't have any storage there. I can click count, and I can actually just stick a little breakpoint in the get count and the set count, right? And I can click that, and boom, our number has come in here, 9. And to really be cool, over here, I can just refresh this page. Count is 9 again, and we saw it there's about to construct. So basically, we've got our communication done. That's very, very cool. All of that struggle from yesterday was just to get to this moment, and then I'm going to break it and show where the bug is. And let's call out this cool guy. So also FYI, popped that up there. So pushed that up there. So it's just on my repo because that's how I'm putting stuff. But I want to go to MAUI, right? There's this man that opened I don't know, this guy. I don't even know what the name is. It's just whatever. HybridWeb, and he felt angry, like, oh no, why is he angry? And I was just like, come on, it's a new field. And then I was like playing around, like, okay, he wasn't angry. Obviously, I reread his issue. He was sort of excited. This John M. Dev. He opened a whole bunch of them. He definitely trying to do HybridWebiew stuff, and I think he has quite a slew of, oh, this is missing, this is causing pain. So I figured, like for example this one, right, void return. Maybe we can fix that first, and then I want to fix the one thing I noticed doesn't have async, but I think I'll fix the void return or something like that. But we'll see. We'll demonstrate multiple issues, and then we'll go to MAUI, recreate the issue there with just plain JavaScript, one function fail, and then yeah. So we got the communication working. So this is cool, right? Now, one thing that the guy did mention, and I also hit it, it was very, very annoying, is it when I want to call into JavaScript? Yeah, invoke JavaScript. Yeah. So let's just create here. Let me quickly copy this. No, actually, I don't have to do anything. I can actually, let's go straight here. And let's just put this a grid and add a button. That's right. So we've got our HybridWebiew there. That's where most of it's going to be. But I'm going to add a little button. Text is equal to test, and this is going to be clicked on test click. And of course, we're going to do horizontal options is going to be end. We want it to be the right. And vertical options is equal to start. We want the top. So we just put something in the top right corner just for testing purposes. Now on here, let's just do that. I get my, don't know if you call this OCD or just, I don't know, paranoia. And then we do host, hybrid host dot invoke JavaScript. Like for example, we know the alert hello from C#. I don't think, if I head over here, I just do this, alert, right? That's a void. I think it's a void. Well, it is a void, but I think it's a real void. I don't know if it actually secretly they return something. And I can do wait quickly here, async, just to stop the noise. And to call this, right, it's asking me, hey, it's required for you to pass in this whole complicated stuff. So why? Well, that's because serialization needs to happen. Class, are we going to do context? And then I think you got to put in your JSON. Yeah. See, this is overly complicated. Here we go. Right, so you got to do all of this, and then like, but it's a void, right? There's nothing I can do, so I'm gonna have to do like, let's do a string here for now. Dot string default dot string. A whole bunch of horrible warnings that I think are all lies. Let's see. It's a partial class. It has to be. Right, this is a partial class. There we go. Let's see. Well, the DLL is built, right? And it's going to run, and then it's going to explode now. There is our test button. We pressed our test button. Hello from C#. Oh, whoa. Press it again. Oops, there's a serialization exception. Okay, yeah. So it's an async void, so the exception is being swallowed. So let's try that. Let's see. Come on. Catch exception. Right. And let's put a breakpoint there. I suppose I didn't have to stop that. But this is the other one, right? So void messages, or this particular, actually, invoke JavaScript string method name. That was an interesting message. So technically, I do alert, right? And then of course I had to do new parameter values. Hello from C#, and I also need to now, because it's a string, passing that, right? This is not like an evil mechanism. I don't particularly have a problem with this, but I have to do a return type in the async. I'm pretty sure it's failing somewhere, somehow. Hello from C#, hello. Oh, and there we go. There we get our exception. Can we check the? Yeah, we go. Right. So I'm not quite sure why it allowed me to go through the first time. Maybe something else was crashing. So it's failing there because exactly as this issue says, scrolling to the top, it's trying to deserialize. Probably where's this? Here we go. So it's trying to deserialize basically a null string, and that U is invalid start of a value. So that's probably represents some sort of unsigned number of memory address. So, and there we go. Did I have crash or did I close it? I think I closed it. But basically, that's not cool. And then what is also semi not cool is, like, for example, let's assume this is a real thing and we're going to use secure storage dot get async, like async task and get async, and we're going to do count, right? We just got count in some globular story, and we're going to do wait just for the truth of it. And can I do that? No. Int.par, right? Does it have a default here? No. Okay. All right. Let's just do it right. Stored is equal to that. If string.is now or empty or white space, return 0. Otherwise, int.parse stored. Right. I think that returns null if the value is not found. Right. So there we go. So if it's that, and of course, secure storage. The reason I'm using this is because this only has a default. Let's just use a default dot set async and counters to string. Of course, this is there. This has to be a task, and this has to await, and this has to async. There we go. So, okay, this is what we want. Now, obviously, this has to again bubble up to task of int, right? And this is nothing too crazy. Like, you know, async exists. Nope. We can just return the task directly, and there we go. All right, so we decided we need to use async, and we used async. So while that loads, let me just verify that YouTube is still happy. Otherwise, I'm talking to myself. There we go. YouTube is happy. I'm hearing my voice. Okay. Boom. Exploded. Look at that horror. The horror show. And of course, notified React. Let's refresh this. Okay. 31 error decoder. It's really gone a cropper. So the reason that is happening is, I think, if I was to head over here, and when they call this hybrid work, here we go. I can't Can I? I can. It's a lie. I refresh. Here we go. So we're about to load, and I believe if I step over, count represents, if you look at this thing, these weird thingies are serialized versions of the entire async, not async, the task. So async state ID is completed, result status is 5. And if we look at the definition of this, right, completed task is completed, async state object is completed successfully, status is faulted. This is all the things that we see. So what has happened is the entire task has been serialized, not like into a usable state, but just JSON copy, if you will. So those are the two issues. The void, right now the void is being harder because I think the void is going to require, you know, this to be different, right? Maybe we can make the second parameter nullable. Like if this is null, that means there's a void return. And you know, because right now I think the API directly assumes T return type, so there's no way to say, hey, void. So I got a strong feeling that this is probably going to require a what do you call it now? A new API, at least publicly here. But we'll figure that. So the issue I really want to look at is returning task. I believe that should be a usable thing. So let's quickly minimize this. Let's hop on over. Oh. So in order to build MAUI, let's cancel that. I don't know why that's still running. That's very scary. Okay, we're going to go cdd, the GitHub, and we're going to go to MAUI, right? And let's crank that bad boy up. So I just do a .NET build, and then I do Microsoft build task. So I clone MAUI, I reset, clean, and nuked it all, so it's all over, and I'm just building the build tasks. I should have waited for that. It should be quick. I built it already. And what we're going to do is, while that actually loads, because all I really care about technically, because I know how it all works, I know I only have to wait for one of the, like the binding source generator and the source sample controls, and I think there's a build tasks that I need to wait for, a build task.dll. Because that's technically what I'm building for. Let's see if I make this smaller. Anything. Controls, essential. There we go. These build tasks right there. That's all I care about, the ones at the bottom. Because the ID is going to want to load that bad boy. If it doesn't exist, it just chokes and dies, and I have to restart. So, I'm going to give that a second to finish building satellite assemblies. There we go. Controls core, a whole bunch of stuff done. All right. Oh, I don't know why. Sometimes my computer just chokes. And then, of course, MAUI Dev. I opened a MAUI Dev solution. I believe that has less projects in it, like the compatibility, control gallery, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't really care about for the normal development work. Obviously, certain things still have to build, and we ship them, but they're not being actively developed. So I bet that sounded awful. All right, so here is our MAUI. Let me just zoom in here quickly. So our HybridWebView is HybridWebView. Yeah, we want this one. This is, let's zoom out here and we'll look at the files first. Oops, that. So this is the view, the thing that exists. No, this is not the HybridWebView. I'm talking nonsense. Let's start that again. Source controls. Just give me a second to load that again. Come on, computer. You know what I want to do? I want to open that one. Here you go. So this is the view, the XAML view, and here it is. Pretty simple. And of course, things like the invoke target script or set invoke JavaScript target, and of course send raw message and invoke JavaScript, as we saw. This is the views, and all they do is go straight through to the handler, which is defined by this. but we want to go to the handler, and of course, open the page, and then of that, then we make this a bit bigger. So the view exists. Actually, let me go to that one. I can show you where that exists. That one exists in controls.call, the XAML one, and this is quite a simple, just the thin layer. But then the actual implementation is in core.core. Let's quickly zoom out so I can scroll faster. Is over here in core source core, and in the handlers folder there is a HybridWebView folder. And now of course there's different platforms, but I believe almost all the logic is in the shared one. And let's, for example, look at Windows. Right, so Windows handler, it's a partial class. It has a proxy, it has a connect event, a whole bunch of messaging, and let me minimize this a bit so we can have a better look. Let me crank this down 140 just for viewing purposes. And you know what? I don't care any of that. No, I want to. I forget how to collapse all now. I'll just do it manually. So a bunch of events that we care about when what happens on the web view, disconnection. Then of course here's a bunch of static methods when certain operations are happening. For example, HybridWebiew proxy, we close that, right. So we just, Windows specific is evaluate JavaScript, and of course this is how you do evaluate JavaScript. Map send raw message, this is how you basically run after initialize, and you send a raw message, right? This is the MAUI HybridWebiew. Windows has a custom WebView 2 sort of type, and of course we just sending raw messages and stuff, right? But what we care about, I believe, is going to be in this handler over here when we call a HybridWebiew coming in here, invoke JavaScript, and this one, invoke JavaScript async. I believe it comes over here into map. Let's pop one over to Windows and map, and here it is, and here is the implementation in the shared code. And we're scrolling down over here, parameter values, invoke async hybrid, invoke JavaScript current method name, and then we awake the string result, which is not quite what did I want to do? It was the other way around, not the invoke, when the target, yeah, my bad. Here we go, this one. Invoke.net method, yeah, on the on message received. Then when someone has said, okay, invoke.net, where is that used? It's a bit hard to find with everything so huge. Invoke.net. Who is using this? Find all references. I think it's probably in the native control. Here we go. Invoke.net. Right, so on the web resource requested, so the way the HybridWebView works is pretty nifty. Let's see if we can our app is not like that, so let's quickly hop over here. This is quite cool. We still got this open. Let's quickly run this. So when, I suppose we can look at the source for that file as well, but we can also see some cool stuff here. Let's collapse that. When we call invoke.net, what is actually happening is we're going to a new request, hw__hwv invoke.net with data, which is basically an entire JSON body of the method name and the parameters and whatever else we potentially can add later as a big JSON chunk. So I hop over here, hop over there, and I hop on over to network. I can hit refresh, and I believe I take that off. I believe we can see the web requests happening live in front of our eyes. here we go, and here, right? So there's HybridWebRequest.invoke.net data, and then of course method name, mount, account, storage, get count, and D and stuff. And of course, if we were to, can I request method name? Yeah, we go query strings, right? So get count. This is the method we wanted. We don't want that. View source, view passed, view decoded. There we go. All right. So that is really how it's communicating. It's just doing a web request, or it's trying to say, hey, change the location by fetch. It's fetching basically a URL. Then what happens, if I just stop this, it comes over here, right? This is on method, and I'm pretty sure, like if I was to go to Android, for example, there would be a method here, JavaScript interface, JS name. It's probably somewhere. Maybe JavaScript does it different. Let me quickly check that. I don't know if we would have noticed this. Let's just quickly go here, here. Who uses this? Who, where, find all references. Should be a bunch. Oh yes, the Android, right? Yeah, and Android has a client, and then basically should intercept request. And of course, for iOS, there is this get response bytes, which is called by start URL screen, which I believe, if I'm just going to guess right now, is that this is going to have things like someone is requesting some sort of content. So you get the bytes. All right. So all these platforms did finish data, did finish. Oh, maybe. Okay. We need to find async, should intercept, override web response. Invoke relative content stream, invoke.net. Now let's say this is async, content stream. Okay, nothing yet. Try find static response. It was now, return a 404, but it was not now. Web resource response, get headers. So, should intercept request. Is that the right one? Let's see what Android has. Okay. So, what is that response? The object, and that is the actual response going to the client. So let's have, what is this? WebView client. Oh, that tooltip is huge. WebView client. So let's hop on over to Android WebView client. Should intercept request async response. Let's see. Can that do an async response? If it can't, I wonder if we should write asynchronous. Let's see. Create an intranet application. It's going to show content and thing. Now we're having access URL, blah blah blah. Get connection stream. Illegal state. Asynchronously edited. Everyone's asking this. Oh, why do I know Mikhail? That's something else. Answers to phase creating request job, then running to get the shooting request during the first phase in these cars. So during the first phase, in these cores need to run on a single thread in sequence. But as the web resource to receive the request job, then it starts to load the contents from the provided streams in parallel. Creating the job should be fast, shouldn't be a bottleneck. Did you actually register? Okay, update. inside. What is your anything? But you inside of your own class that wraps web. Oh, look at that. Wrap web. Good thing it's Android as a pain. iOS I have to set up a different machine, but like that. Input stream. Okay, so let's just do Windows first, and go from there. So HybridWebView handler over here. We come in here and it's coming and it's saying, there we go, it's collateral. I remembered it. I didn't actually remember it, my fingers did it. Collateral. So when invoke.NET method, here we go. So actually before we do that, we need to recreate it. So I'm going to go to sandbox and main page. There we go. That's blank. HybridWebView. Okay, and we need to do a name on this. X name is equal to hybrid host. Let's just do that. Cool. We go over here, and then of course we do hybrid host dot set target, and I don't do that. And then let's do this, and of course let's just do a public task int get number, and there we go, that, and password, and let's make sure it's async. Sync, and then of course we're going to do task.delay, and we're going to wait 1 second, and then return 42. Look at that. Copilot's got jokes. Okay, now we need to write actual content. So in our raw asset, let's create a new item. Web, and we want HTML page, and we're just going to call this index HTML. And actually, to make life even easier, I'll make a new folder called root. Yes. Save that. Now we've got a sandbox. Just make sure nothing weird happened here. Index the root. Okay. Nothing strange happened there. So let's run this quickly and make sure body hello sandbox. There we go. And then I need to run the sample. Be quickly just to load that. Now this might take a second to build. Set to start a project. Run a Windows machine. So just testing to make sure the sample works. And then in the meantime, I am going to actually have to copy it's a laser. Resources, raw, hybrid sample page, here we go. Scripts, HybridWebView, we need to copy that, we pop that in root. And we basically, I mean, technically we can use that, but let's use the sandbox so we can have a unit test. Okay, index.html, let's just copy that and paste it in there. Right, what do we got here? Look at this craziness. We don't want any of this. Well, we want some of it, but we're going to function. So this is going to load the JavaScript, and then what we want to do is there do some sync work. Wait, invoke data. Okay. Right, script. So we've got a button. Oh my goodness, that's writing an app for me. Message from JavaScript. Send message to C#. What was our method we wrote? Nothing. Get number. That's what we want to do. We want to do get number. So when our buttons here is read-only messages, and we're going to do, so what we want to do here is just do this. Let's just do function, and we're going to do, what are we going to call this? Function get number from .NET. Let's do that. And we're going to do window.hybridWebView invoke.number, invoke.net, get number that has no parameters. Yes, let's reload. Async function await for number is equal to that, and then alert, right, something like that. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Let's quickly hop on over here just to make sure. How do we write async functions? Async function, I don't know why IntelliSense looks very scary, invoke.net. Okay. Invoke.net, in fact, let's leave window off. That's how I want to live. I think window is implicitly added. Number from C#, result, number. There we go. Div hybrid sample, let's make that a P. And this one is going to be a P as well. Hybrid sample, we don't want this, we want to do this, we want to do that. Get a number from .NET. Okay, get a number from it, and let's get rid of all of that. Alright, so where's our hello sandbox? There we go. Okay, our app is working. So if I was to save this, run this, what's that void? Oh, let me just do a void as well. Oh, not a void, an int. Make sure everything is working. Now sync. And here we go. And there we go. Get an async number. Get a sync number. Get number sync number sync, right, await, get number sync number async number. Alright, let's just do that. So we got two yep, the async JavaScript. Let's click the sync button first. It should explode less horribly. Get the sync number, exploded very horribly. Oh, I got it. I do dev tools. Here we go. My app.dev hybrid. So fancy. We just need to have the hybrid dev tool so that I can hit F12 and check the error in the console. Alright, let's open that sweet console. Boom, it's open. We already got errors, which is amazing. 404 app.css failed to load. The horrors, but let's press the button. Nothing happened. let's just make sure that the script did get there. Yeah, there it is. Maybe I get number from .NET Sync. I mean, maybe I'm doing my JavaScript wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. Whoops, I'm missing this button every single time. Zoom in, make it that. Actually, let's make that side by side so that we can work. And then let's put a breakpoint over there. I did type that correctly, right? Yeah, found it. Sync number. Oh, click. Okay. Can I just? Is it? Did I do it wrong already? Like V1. Oh, okay. That's V0. I got it wrong. We've got to use little parentheses over here. Save that. Unlike all the magical hot reloads, this doesn't have a mechanism to auto sort of reload. We'll have to get that one day. One day we'll have budget to do cool things that I want. Okay, let's go. Give us success. Oh. Let's press that again. I don't like slow loads. Alright, it's gonna come. It's gonna come load quickly. And hopefully I can figure out a way to make this into a test. Click the button. There we go. 42. Now this one, boom. Everything exploded. Right. So we see the one is working and the other one is not. Let's just check if there's anything in the pressing. Very important to make sure that keys. And then console, look at that. So this, again, to verify, stick a breakpoint there, press the button, and what is the raw response from the browser or from the app was response header stated 404. Okay, 404, not found. I think it's a 404. What is method name? Get number. I believe it's that. It's not because of any advanced technologies. So I know get number exists because I believe I typed it correctly. Get number and get number. It's this one. I wonder if I stick a breakpoint there and just press that. There we go. Right? It had to have existed. And then it failed to respond already. Yep. So that went all horrible. So let's stick a breakpoint there. Let's do that again. Let's get that core stack. And here we go. This method, right? Invoke, and that's returning directly the JSON object. So if I was to stick this here, actually let's go over here, and here we go. If I continue now, our result is a task that's waiting, and what this thing is going to try and do, I bet you, is just serialize it. Boom. Result is not now. I don't quite know why that choked. Locals exception. Context property is valid for the assurance is the pointer. Did one of these fail? Oh yes. Okay. So if it's an array or if it's a class, I bet you it's going to go over here. So let's run that again. Press it again. Okay, we've got our get number, we've got our JSON, and over here. Now, this is failing because over there, because we're trying to deserialize. So, we now need to change some stuff. So this one is let's hop on over here. Right, so on resource requested, handler, resource requested. I believe this has a sort of resource was done, the complete, here we go. async complete. So we can do asynchronous things. Await is right there. So our current choking point is over here on resource requested. Make relative invoke.net. Here we go. So let's make this async. Yes, everything's going to fail to build, but let's just do that because we're not here to make the build work. We're here to make, let's make this 140. Okay, so task, boom, done. Once we do this, we ship the product. Okay. Message received. This is raw message received, right? Raw message, JavaScript invoke completed. Okay. Invoke.net. Here we go. Get type. So if result type is task, I believe task int is a task. Can I do a value task of int? Does value task of int derive from? Okay. What's going to be cool-ish is if I get a normal value task. Is that okay? Let's just do normal task first. Is task, right? Or tasks in derived from task. Then task.await. Oh no, what am I doing? Result is equal to await task. Let's do that for now. Result is object. There we go. There we do. So this should be all that is needed. Let's see this thing. Who is using this? It's using from everything. It's probably going to fail to build. You know what? Let's copy this quickly. Undo all of this. I think it was somewhere there. Message received. Keep this happy for C#. I'm going to quickly pop that there and rename this async. Then just go head over to Windows, and once I fix all the platforms, oh, it's going to take forever, but I'll just click here quickly. Here we go, invoke.net there, and do await. Here we go. Look at that. I like APIs that are ready to go. Okay, so let's do async quickly. Serialize, invoke data string, data method. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We don't need to await. I mean, technically we could await. Let's have a look at this code. Get method, param types. Yeah, getting a task is fine. I mean, technically we could await the task in this method. Will that be better? Because this is all result processing. So let's do that. Let's do it there. I think will allow us to encapsulate. Oh. Although Okay, for now, let's just let's put that here. This is why it'll be better to be in there. So let's see if that works now. And then we need to figure out a way to handle tasks more generically. This is currently, is this Windows code? No, it's in the shared code. So this will fix it, but we just need to fix the corner. I think iOS will be easy to fix as well. Just make that async. Let me quickly check. Right, blah, 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 blah. Here we go, invoke.net async, but that doesn't matter because the real matter wasn't there complete over here? Did receive data and then did finish. So this whole this thing, basically a weight can go there. I think that will be safe. You don't have to be synchronous. And I think that'll make me very happy. And then we've got to figure out void methods, but I'm probably going to have to figure that out later. Let me just quickly have a sip of fluids. Every sip is very dramatic. Oh, there's bugs attacking me. Okay, I'm going to have to build everything again because I am doing very low. Everything depends on core. Anything that doesn't depend on core is graphics, which appears to be building again. And I did do, yeah. The async number 42. Get a number 42. Look at that. That's very, very cool. We fixed it. Now, obviously, we can't ship just that. So what are we gonna do? So if it's can I do? No. Okay. So I need to go check my Googles. I know there was a way. C#. If variable is type generic, I think that's what I want. And then, actually, I can probably not have to do that. I can do await the task. Okay, something is broken. I've lost everything. Okay, I think I can do task dot result. Okay, so that we don't have to get the thing, and then I believe there might be a way to figure out afterwards, after the fact. Oh my gosh, I'm never going to scroll that much. All this internal source, I don't care about any of it. Is there a virtual method that's overridden? Finish low. Wait all, wait any. Okay. down and scrolling here. I'm thinking. So basically, do I have to? Does task task in quickly? Is one of these ins and outs? T result, no. Okay. There is no generic. So the cool thing is we can just get result over here, right? Now we do need to know the T. I'm just concerned that yeah, we can do is await the task, that's fine. Then we do if the task, that one, there we go, get property. I mean, technically this should be safe. Async is always in the place. Right, get value, there we go. I don't like that. If it's a generic, I suppose we don't have to cast, we know it can only be type of task T. Then we go, hey, task to get type. I mean, if you've got a task of a task, well, that's you can't do that, right? There we go. Does that allow me to do that amazingness? Okay. I think that'll be okay. Let's have a look and see what this learn docs is. Generic. Okay. Examine and instantiate generic types. Just quickly, just browse a few docs, but I think this type of construct a generic. All right. It's in the name of. I would have thought that would have been, well, whatever. Let's just, there we go. Okay. Whew. This code makes me feel a bit dirty, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here. Actually, I think I want to, anyway, it's all here. Let's just make this, see, this is value task. There we go. invoke.move method. Okay. Let's minimize everything here quickly just so that we can. Right, this is using dynamic features and stuff. I mean, this technically can be like a record, but no need to be. Okay. Platform and Tizen. Platform and Tizen. Okay. So I think what we need to do is move this logic quickly. Here we go. This. Okay. So we get the method. That's smaller. If is now, throw new invalid operation exception. Okay. If the parameters is not now, and we get parameters. Get parameters. Params length. Param values. Here we go. Let's call this method invoke parameters. Let's do that. Invoke method, invoke parameters. And you know what? .NET is really struggling here. I'll make that smaller so it's easier for me to see. Okay. Okay. And just so we don't have to get that twice. I believe it's cached. It's an array. But it makes it so this check shorter. If there is parameters, it's not now, and the length doesn't match. Okay. Invoke params. Okay. And here we go. Zipping. Applies a special function corresponding elements to two sequences. Preparing. Okay. So for each one of the invoke params, undo that. No idea if I trust that error. Right? It's gone. Get parameters. Pretty sure that's what I did. There we go. Okay. Zip there. Zip there. Oh, okay. Param values. so we can keep things together. Invoke data. Let's make this. Whew. Method name, right? Boom. Then after that. Oh, oh, oh. No, holy moly. Values, method. There we go. May or may not be now. Okay. That. Okay. Let's do this. If method params is null, no. I suppose that's fine. Invoke. I don't understand why popping that in there. Ooh, what is going on? Node. Alright, let's terminate node. Even though I don't think it's the most. Wow, Roslyn. I suppose it is the MAUI repo, right? A bajillion items in there. Look at that. 8 gigs of RAM. It's still only 50%. So yeah, whatever. Just let me check something. That's cool though, right? Can it be used for parameter source or object? Object is nullability. Okay. So what's happening here? We want to zip up this and that. So this S and P and serialize. Okay, so if there are no parameters, let's do this. If is null, then what we just want to do is return this, right? And return null, right? Can I, is that a method? No, no. If there are no parameters, this should be null. Okay. Then we actually want to do value task object result. Is equal to, all right. No, we don't want that. What is this? Let's do var result there for now. We'll fix that in a second. Actually, let's do this right. So right, so it'll be object there we go. There we go. If is not null, if there are parameters specified, we do that. Method params. And that one. Let's do this. To avoid is equal to new method params of length. For params of length, there we go. We want to zip up method params. Right. Deserialize S parameter type, method params I, invoke parameters I, parameter type. There we go. I suppose. Oh, I'm going to support the old stuff. All those nulls. There we go. There we go. Look at that. But let's do this. This is the zip, sort of the yeah. And then of course we can do method params. This would be P and deserialize P, which is why deserialize. No idea what type that is. It's just you're gonna have to do it the long way around because IntelliSense is just shut down. Method param values is string. Okay, you only know how to pass strings. Invoke. Yes. So if I'm going to quickly, what is this? Invoke. Oh wait, this is. I was wondering how. Okay, I forgot. This is a method coming, the string coming from the URL from the what you may call it. Here we go. I do admit. So we got this is the parameters from the web request, right? Web request, we invoke the method, doesn't exist, all right, get the parameters, cool, make sure they match. All right, then we get the object, let's make it there, and equals null, all right, we start off with null. Then, if there are method parameters from the JavaScript, then what we want to do, let's do this just request params, request method. Okay. Probably should put name on the end. I mean, sure, renaming is intense. curious. Let's do it. Let's just don't need to take too many shortcuts. It's a bit longer than nice to fit onto our screen, but all right. And then .NET method, let's call this. .NET method. And of course, we're going to call this .NET params. Let's just do that. All right. It's incredibly slow. I mean, thankfully, I am doing that hardcore stuff. .NET params, .NET method. Okay. So, invoke param values. There we go. All right. So request params if they're not null. Go through all of them. Rec value. There we go. And you know, parameter type. So the request value and a parameter type. That's slow. Okay. Then we deserialize the request value into the parameter type, and that's just if it doesn't support, right? Later on we can do advanced chemicals, and then of course we set it. There we go. Let's put that there. Okay. Then this one is now a value type. The reason we want a value type is that we want to get the return type. I believe I can do if dot return type okay, no, wait. Do that afterwards. Dot net return value. Okay, and then we can go here. If return value is task, else right, there we go. That's what I wanted to do. Wait the task. Okay. Do if okay. Oh, if it's a void. So if you're requesting invoke, okay. Let's quickly check there. What happens if you request a void? Let's quickly remove that. Right. Invoke.NET method. I believe if I hover over this, here we go. Let's just go to that source. Oh, I'll probably be quickly going to that. Here we go. Object. There's absolutely no docs on that, which is great. F1. Come on, interwebs. Think if the returned void in the object returned object null in case of a constructor. Huh? Information on void returns. Here we go. Returns. Return null in case of constructor. Null if the returns a void. Okay. All right. So. Invert if. There we go. If it's not a task, actually let's undo that. Let's work it the way down. We have a value task just so we don't have to allocate something. Yes. And then our calling method, which was somewhere. Here we go. Await. Always await. That's async.NET async. Lacks await operators. I just added one right there. I think IntelliSense is just lagging behind big time. There we go. If it's array or it's a class, then we can serialize. Otherwise, we just return the value. I mean, I would just deserialize it exactly every time, but whatever. No need to threaten us with code. Here we go. Task, right? Await the task, just so that we do it. Now, of course, if we don't, yeah. It's not. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. If task dot get type dot is generic. That means the task of T. If it's not, then turn null. Task was a. So we need to get if. There we go. Let's just do that. Can I do task dot get waiter dot get result? Yeah, okay. It's probably a cooler, better, safer, more exciting way to do this. We need to get the result. No. .NET return value, we don't want to do that. We're going to do type is go. Otherwise, return now. We're going to flip this quickly. What's that? Conditional. Okay. Oh. Switch. Can I do? No. I'll wait the task to get the task T. Actually, I can do this. If we have to wait. If it's generic and it has a result property, yeah, yeah. So let's do that. All right. Now, no void methods invoke. How do we return now for void methods? Then so we'll waiting a task, a non-generic task. If it's not, there we go. Can I flip this? Come on, invert the F. Let's clean up this code a bit. Alright. If it's not a task, then return there. Alright. Actually, I want to undo that. I want to do something. I want to just do it right. If .NET task is here we go. This. Come on, IntelliSense. It's a simple refactor. I'm going to count to 6 and then I'm going to do it myself. There we go. I'm going to do a private static object colon get result task result object question mark task. There we go. Looks like there's some sort of bot promoting individual. Uncool, bro. Uncool. I don't need views. And then of course we can just return task. There we go, like that. So we also else if value task. Boom, yeah. Value task. There we go. I have to fix that. I'm sorry. That was pretty shocking. Let me just quickly see. Please tell me there's a property called result, not a field. Oh, I can do add. Oops. I kicked that over. See, the thing with value tasks, they say you can't await it multiple times, but are we awaiting it? No, we're not. Okay, let me just check and see. There is a result property. Good. Okay, so if it's a task, await the task, get the result. If it's a value task, then we await the value task and get value task and get the result. Otherwise, we do that. I don't think there's another asynchronous method. Right, so we can test this now. Going back to all our samples, invoke.end method, async. Let's just fix that. Oh, the cheese has moved. Somewhere there's an error. Target method.net parameters method request params. There we go. Fix that. Then we got another somewhere here. There we go. Method async. Just we're calling it async just so that we can make sure there's new types. And over here, this is invoke.net. This was the old method. You know what? I'm just going to say no. We're going to delete that. Cancel that. Let's go here to MAUI quickly and see what our diff is. Content type, content bytes is internal. Await this and all right. Let's make that a bit smaller. Massive method, type of T, invoke target. There we go. Look at that. Oh, that sounds better. T. Oof. Let's rename this to. Wait a second. Do that. Target type. Sorry, it's too quick. Target type, target object. Okay, okay, cool. You know what? I'm not going to be clever. I'm just going to do that. I remember now, it just occurred to me, someone said like, never use value task, just use task. So we're just going to use task. We need to be fancy here. The method. Okay. And of course, as get result, I'm actually going to move this inside here. Tab that, static. Let me just see. Okay. That's quite a simple method, right? We got the target type, we've got a JS invoking, said give us the stuff. All right. And we're invoking it. We're deserializing the contents, and we're invoking the .NET method directly. Here we go. And of course, we're continuing here. This is extract the method, extract local function, and we're going to call this get invoke result. There we go. Let's just do that. Var. And there we go. Get invoke result. Static. And we can just return, and return. And of course, because we're returning from each block, if else, yeah. So we can do this. Oof. Like this is how you know I'm a super coder when AI is so busy loading in the background that I just do it myself. AKA just a normal guy somehow. Okay. Now result means an empty, and now an empty and now invoke. Invoke result means an empty result. A reference type or an array should be serialized. No, not a value type. That's not correct. I'm not going to change it, right? Because what happens if I've got a custom, is that correct? A class, right? I could create a like a struct, right? I think I'll prove that as well. This will fail the struct. What we actually need to do is do okay, I don't know what's running in the background, but result type dot prim is primitive. There we go. So to change what we loaded, do you want to overwrite this content? Yes, I most certainly do. Okay, so this is cool. We're stepping through that. Okay, and this simplifies this code. What is this content bytes? Here we go. See, invoke now. Invoke data is not, if it's not now, is not. If invoke data and invoke data to method name, can I just do that? I'll just keep that there for posterity. That be there. So Invoke query string data string. The data query string was not provided. What is this? That will throw an exception. Not try. Wait a second. What is this type? Pretty sure that would throw an exception. Yes. No. No. I literally want to save that, bro. Yes. I don't understand what it's telling me. Returns, exceptions, the read-only statement. Oh, now. Okay. That is a special world. Where was I? Here we go. Get the data. If the data is null or empty, the data parameter string is required. And I believe with the new stuff here, invoke.net, and I can do this. I can do using invoke.net result is equal to that. That's exciting, eh? Technology has done amazing things for us. There we go. There we go. So, get the target. Yeah, catching this exception. Exception. Oh, what? Okay. Oof. Throw an exception. Property must have .net. Okay, for now. Whoosh. If the JavaScript evokes the method, get the .NET invoke result, serialize. There we go. Evoke data, the method name. Since we're throwing, the data, the invoke did not have a method name of invoke query string. There we go. invoke data did not have a method name. Did not provide a method name. It's going to be caught again or whatever. There we go. We do target type. Target type. Okay. Oh, invoke target. There we go. Virtual view. Invoke target script type. There we go. Oh, wait. Yes. Throw invalid operation exception. So it's going to come in and say, hey, invoke a method, here's some data. We're going to make sure it is an invalid type and thing, which it has one, it has the other, so it's fruitless. However, it's cool to throw, make sure it's really that. We check the data, okay, cool, we got the data. We make sure that we can deserialize that data. Actually, put a break over there because it's unrelated. Okay, that's probably going to throw. Is there a try serialize? No. And then of course we say we invoke, we get the result. Actually, result 2, result. Wow. And let's just call that invoke result just so that we can. So we get the invoke result, we get the real result, and we get the JSON. Then we say, hey, it's JSON, here's the bytes, and we return those bytes. Okay. Why is that? Okay. We probably don't have to create an array for that. We probably can do whatever, a stream, and then copy it into whatever the destination is, but maybe they're all arrays. Who knows? Return default. Okay. Always returns a result. No matter what's coming in, is a result. Okay, to do log this. Okay. Lost IntelliSense. But that doesn't matter. We are not held back by such fruitless, meaningless things. Let's run that. Oh, got a meeting in 3 minutes, but I think we fixed it. Might have to have a look for Android. It was a little bit sus because they have a double section, a custom response type, but that's not going to stop us. Everything exploded. Worked on it async. Right. Feel like that's the way you do it. Content type. Okay, fine, whatever. Content bytes. There we go. You have to await. And that is, this is the Android. Okay. This is not result. Oh, for now. You should never do that, but we will fix that. But 2 minutes until my meeting. But anyway, let's have a look and see what we did. It's probably a huge, horrible way to review it. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. But basically, all we've really done is we've seen, hey, this method, we're going to come in here and we made it async, and we say, well, okay, we didn't make this particular one async. We're coming in here and instead of getting the result and then returning and saying, oh, you know, I expect it on demand, you can say, hey, we can await it. And what we do is we go through it, we do the same normal stuff, and then we invoke the async, and then of course we basically pass the task. Well, not pass the task, we pass the task inside here. Over here, we sort of pass the task, let's use that word. And if it's a task, if it's a value task, we get the result. And of course, we pass that back up here, which will then create this invoke result type, which was doing. We usually just refactor the code a bit so it's easier to follow the chunks. I don't know if I like nested type, so let's just do, well, let's keep it there for now. But yeah, I think we're gonna have to stop because that's cool. This thing is still choking and churning, but that will work, I think. And well, it did work. We tested it. I just refactored that. There might be a few issues with the thing, so I'll do that. Have a look at Android and iOS, and then see if we can fix that bug. And also, we'll fix this might potentially fix the return types as well. But anyway, there goes my meeting notification. That was a fun wild ride. Yeah, but it looks like I think I'm gonna have to call it a day or call it a night. Cheerio.